Hi guys, welcome back to another video. And so today we're going to be talking about why the Phoenix Suns are screwed. Now this might be a little bit of an over-exaggeration, but when you look at it, when you look at what the team has in terms of, assets and talent, yeah, like, you have Kevin Durant and Devin Booker, but besides them, I think you really are missing a lot of talent that, competitive teams have. And yeah, so right now they're pushing to hopefully get into a play-in spot. Right now they're at the 11th seed. But even then, I don't even think they would do that well in the playoffs. You would need like prime Kevin Durant, prime Devin Booker to all come out, and even that, I don't even know if that would be enough. Um, so like Kevin Durant, there's been trade rumors circling him. I feel like for the past year and a half. Right before the deadline this year, he said that he wanted to stay, which honestly came to a surprise, but it is what it is at this point. I think it's Kevin Durant does get traded this offseason, but we'll get into that a little bit more. But you look at the lack of talent. They traded for Nick Richards this season, and yeah, he's fine, but he's not the center that I think we were hoping for him to be or turn out to this year for them. And when they traded for him, I was expecting a little bit more, just because that center core is a little depleted. I mean, Bull is an interesting talent, but he's never developed fully. Mason Plumlee is just not that great, and so Nick Richards coming in, I thought he was going to take over and be, the dominant one, but even then, I don't think he's really lived up to that expectations. And so I feel like that trade, I wouldn't call it a bust or bad yet, but I think it's safe to say that the freaking Bradley Beal trade was a bust. He has not panned out for them at all, and I think they want to trade him, but no one wants him. There's just a lot of question marks kind of surrounding how people feel about Bradley Beal now. He's getting older, but he was, dominant at once. But I think they're just missing a lot of talent. Like, at the point guard position, Grayson Allen's, like, whatever, it's fine. But even then, it's just not that great. They do have, man, who's the guard that signed there for less money? Tyus Jones. He's done actually better than I expected, and he's taken over, but he's not a long-term piece. Devin Booker constantly plays well, but, he's in his prime right now, and, Kevin Durant, he's leaving soon. And so, when you think about it, like, what could you really get? The trade value that Kevin Durant was when he got traded to the Suns to now is definitely not the same. There's no way they get the same amount of value that they got for him when they traded for him. Like the Mikal Bridges, the Cam Johnson, they sent them both. You get to look at, like, I would say the Phoenix Suns are near a rebuild, and it just depends on how they want to, go through with it. Because I think there's two different directions you can go. I think you can look to trade him to, like, a contending team who he'd want to go to, and they would want. So someone like the Rockets, the Thunder, Celtics, Timberwolves, I think those are kind of teams that, have all kind of circled around his name at least once. The Grizzlies as well. It's all kind of up in the air a little bit with him, but I think there's different directions. If they want to go, like, more picks, I think that could be great for them if they want to try and, just stack up on their picks for the future, although they really don't even have that many currently. So, like, if you trade them to the Thunder, I think that you can get a lot of picks out of them. The Thunder are known for having, like, a ton of first-round picks within, like, the next, 10 or so years. But if you want to try and just build the roster off of talent and hope that maybe some of those players develop, someone like the Rockets could be really interesting, as, they do have a young team, and, some of those guys are going to want the ball. They're going to want the minutes. Like, Sengun is going to want the ball. Jalen Green's going to want the ball. And if you add a guy like Kevin Durant, he's going to want the ball. But then you see a guy like, Reed Shepherd get drafted with a top 5 pick, and he's barely seen the court this year. So, if you trade him to the Rockets, and you can get a couple picks, and then, like, Reed Shepherd, maybe Cam Whittemore, who've both kind of shown flashes, but aren't too dominant. They may feel comfortable trading away Jabari Smith if they get Kevin Durant. There's a ton of talent over there in Houston, and that could pay off for the Suns if they did want to try and go that kind of direction. The Celtics are kind of interesting. I don't know if I think they would kind of have a mix of players. the Suns could look to maybe trade for, like, I don't know, really anybody, because you know the Celtics aren't going to trade any of like their big two of like Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum or Derek White. I don't know. I don't even know if they'd be willing to move their six man. What's his face? Peyton Pritchard. I mean, maybe you could hope that they would do something like that. But, I mean, Peyton Pritchard is balling for them off the bench to where I wouldn't even... If I was the Celtics, I don't even know if I would move him. Plus, he's on such a cheap contract. And the Celtics are paying good money to both Tatum and Brown. So, I don't even know if I'd be willing to move off of Peyton Pritchard. But the Celtics could be in the mix. The Grizzlies are interesting. I feel like they've kind of circled around. I mean, maybe you could try and, center a trade package for, like, Kevin Durant. And then, like, maybe G.G. Jackson, some picks. And then... another role player. But, I mean, I just don't see a bright future right now with Kevin Durant, retiring with the Suns. And I think they know that as well. And so, like, when you look at Kevin Durant, it's not when he gets traded, or it's not if he gets traded, it's when he gets traded. And I think it's more than likely to be this offseason. And, like, they're just missing a lot. And, like, they tried to build around Devin Booker. They added the Beal, they added Kevin Durant, and I feel like it's safe to say this project has officially failed. I mean, they added all these pieces, and they're still the 11th seed. The West is just insanely crowded at this point, to where even if you add some of the pieces, like the Rockets, like Reed Shepherd or Cam Whittemore or G.G. Jackson, or, any of those players who, have the physicals and have seemed really good but are lacking minutes. I don't even know if that would be enough to... Like, you're still going to need picks as well to fully go through with the rebuild, just because the West is that competitive. If it was the East, I think it could be a little bit of a different story. But I think the Suns just need to maybe trade him to the Thunder or someone who's just willing to give them a trade and a big trade of picks. Because, like, I don't think Devin Booker's in question. I think they do want to keep Booker in that trade. Or, I'm not trade him. I think they would want to keep him. I don't think they'd be willing to trade Booker away just because he's their franchise guy. But, that being said, he may get fed up with his role and then the constant rebuilding. It's tough to say. I just personally, I think the Suns are screwed. I don't think that's, like, a crazy thing to say. I just don't see a great future for them. Next season, I don't see a good future for them. And even if they can, there's about 10 or so games left in the season. Even if they can squeak into, like, the 10th seed or 9th seed into a play-in tournament, I don't mean, maybe they could, win out in the play-in tournament. They could push in through the playoffs, but maybe depending, I don't even know if they'd win the first round, to be honest. Depending on who they'd have to play, whether it be the Denver or whether it be OKC, I just don't even know if they would have enough to get through either of those teams. They just look unstoppable. And you look at the way that some of the, good teams have been built, it really is kind of through picks. I mean, OKC they trade away Paul George and just loaded up on picks, and then they let SGA develop, and then they just loaded up on picks, hit on some of those. I mean, Kevin Durant's talented. He's a Hall of Famer, there's no doubt. But I think this tenure for him and his Suns jersey is officially over. So I guess that's my take on why I think the Suns need to trade away Kevin Durant and why their future is not looking too bright.